Next is global poverty scenario. According to the World Bank, the poverty ratio or the percentage of population living below the poverty line in the developing countries, it has come down from 43% to 22% by the year 2008. World Bank standard of poverty line states that all people living under $1.25 per day live in poverty. Poverty has also declined in many regions of the world, such as China, East Asia, Pacific, South Asia, Latin America, and Caribbean. Poverty in China and East Asia and East Pacific regions, this has declined more rapidly than the Southern Asia. Rapid decline of poverty in China, East Asia and Pacific regions, it is associated with rapid economic growth and huge investments in human resource development in these regions. So situation is different in sub-Saharan African region, where poverty ratio has risen from 51% to 47%. Poverty reappeared in former socialist countries such as Russia, where officially there was no poverty before. Poverty ratio for India, as per the World Bank standards, it appears higher than our national estimate. The United Nations Millennium Summit held in September 2000, their leaders from 189 countries signed a declaration pledging to reduce the number of people living below $1 per day to half of its 1990 figure by 2015 year. So in this image we see the share of people living on $1.25 per day over a period of 1981 to 2020. So causes of poverty and anti-poverty measures. The main causes of poverty in India are low economic growth during the colonial rule, population explosion, lack of job opportunities, irregular low-paying employment, inequitable distribution of resources, and indebtedness. So anti-poverty measures are taken up by the Indian government on the basis of two main objectives, that is increasing economic growth in the country and launching anti-poverty programs for specific group of people. Economic growth provides more resources and opportunities for human resource development like education, training and healthcare. So lower growth rate of income, this was accompanied by higher growth rate of population, and this lowered the per capita income of the country. Industries both in public and private sector, they provided jobs, but these were not enough to absorb all the job seekers. So unable to find jobs in the cities, people started working as rickshaw pullers, vendors, construction workers, domestic servants, etc. With irregular small income, people couldn't afford buying expensive houses, and then they started living in the slums on the outskirts of the cities. And the problems of poverty, largely a rural phenomenon, it became the feature of urban sector also. Another feature of high poverty rate has been huge income inequalities. Major reason for this is unequal distribution of land and other resources. Lack of land resource. This has been a major cause of poverty in India. Proper implementation of policy could have been improved the life of millions of rural poor people. So farmers need to buy agriculture inputs like seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, etc. So poor people hardly have any savings. Then they borrow. Unable to repay this debt because of the poverty, they become victims of indebtedness, and the high level of indebtedness in both cause is effect. So the high level of indebtedness is both cause and effect of poverty. Next is anti-poverty measures. So from 1980, India's economic growth has been fastest in the world. Growth rate used to be 3.5% in the earlier, increased to 6% during 1980s and 1990s. So this high growth rate generating the employment and increasing the income of the people. First, some of the anti-poverty programs are as follows. Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. So this program was originally started in 2005 as NREGA. So under this program, one member of each rural household will be given employment for 100 days in a year, and person should be willing to work for any unskilled job. If the government fails to provide the employment within 15 days, then he would get the unemployment allowance in lieu of that. National Food for Work program was also merged with NREGA. Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana. This was launched in 1993 to create the self-employment opportunities for the educated and unemployed youths in both rural areas and small towns. This program assists people in setting up small industries. Next is the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. This was launched in 1995. It aims to generate self-employment opportunities to people in rural areas and small towns. Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana started in 1999. It aims at organizing the poor families into self-help groups and also providing them bank loans and government subsidies to start small businesses and industries. Person not provided employment within 15 days of registering with National Rural Employment Act is entitled to daily unemployment allowance. Results of all these programs was mixed. MNREGA helped in arresting the tide of migration from rural areas. It also helped in improving the wages of rural workers. Challenges faced by the country due to poverty. Human poverty extends beyond the definition of poverty. It includes lack of housing, education, health care, job security, lack of equal opportunities or dignity due to discrimination based on caste, color, or gender. India's future in combating poverty appears bright. Rising economic growth, falling population rate, radical schemes for free elementary education for all, empowerment of women,